All right, thank you so much, Isaac. Well, a house in a West Tupelo neighborhood became the focus of social media last week as investigators from several agencies searched the property for the first time in a decade. It all stems from a cold case, the disappearance of Tupelo teenager Leigh-Occhi, who vanished in 1992.
In part one of these exclusive reports, Allie Martin talks with the owners of one of the homes where Leigh once lived to hear how they helped authorities and also dealt with public curiosity for years.
The backyard of Rob and Delia Steele's home on Honey Locust Drive still shows signs of the search that captivated our area and social media for the last week. Delia says the latest search effort, which also included the drainage ditch, was the result of months of work by investigators. The big question, what led to the latest dig?
They got a new investigator that came in and was going through the cases, just found some leads or whatever that perked his interest, I guess. I don't know. But they came back out. He knew of equipment or better trained dogs that had not been used before, so they came back out with the new equipment, new dogs, and new eyes on it. There was no digging or any kind of researching going on that started it. It was just new eyes on the case.
The Steeles moved into their home in 2009. The home is the location of Tupelo's most famous cold case. 13-year-old Leigh-Occhi was last seen there the morning of August 27, 1992. Her mother, Vicki Felton, told police she returned home that morning to find Leigh missing and blood in the house. Initial searches proved fruitless, but police have kept the case open. In fact, the Steeles say last week was not the first time they have worked with investigators who wanted to search their property.
Since we've been here, 2014 was the first time they've come, they've dug on that side of the ditch, they've dug it up a couple of times. They have been in and out numerous times throughout the years, but we've been able to keep it quiet because it's usually just been 2 or 3. When the big units came, that's when all the media found out. They had been here actually off and on for quite a while.
The most recent search garnered a lot of attention after social media posts showed law enforcement vehicles lining the street. Delia provided this footage showing curious onlookers driving by in their cul-de-sac.
When they took the barriers down, it was a floodgate. I mean, we sat out here and we counted. It was 17 cars per 15 minutes. And my issue with that is if you drive by and look at it, all you're going to see is a mud hole, and the only evidence you're going to see is that there are people who live in the home. I just wish people would remember that not everybody just drives by. There are people who want to look in windows. There are people who think they have the right to go in our backyard.
Delia says for the last 16 years, her family has had to learn to live differently, and social media chatter often proves that's easier said than done.
I made a comment that a lot of people took the wrong way, and I said this was Leigh-Occhi's house, this is our home. I don't mean disrespect to Leigh by that. I'm just asking for people to be respectful for us. I mean, we live here, and I have children that have literally learned to move very differently in life because of the situation that surrounds us.
Delia tells us she counted 37 agents, investigators, and others on site during those search efforts. MBI released a brief statement confirming they were involved in a search related to the cold case of the Leigh-Occhi disappearance, but they could not divulge any details about the search. The statement went on to say MBI is committed to following every lead and gathering any new information about the case. Telling your story in Tupelo, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
Tomorrow, in the second part of his report, Allie tells us how the current homeowners found out their house was the subject of investigations through the years.